Girlfriend broke up with me because I'm a picky eater. My girlfriend broke up with me yesterday because of my eating habits. We had been together for 2 years, and she said she was fed up with my picky eating and didn't want to be with somebody who eats like a child anymore. It sucks, but I don't really blame her given the context. Whenever we would go to her family's house, I would always eat before we went, because they would always end up making dinner and it was never anything I liked. So I would sit out, or at least sit at the table but not eat anything. They came from a family that had the mentality of, you eat what's made for dinner, or you go to bed hungry, where I came from a family that I got to pick and choose what I wanted for dinner. If my family made something I didn't like, I always had the option to make something else so long as I cleaned up after myself. More often than not, I made my own dinner, and my family had no problem with that and never took it personally. To be fair, we rarely went over to her family's house for dinner specifically. We would go over to hang out, then dinner would be made later. Knowing that they would make dinner later, I would always preemptively eat before we went so I could use the excuse that I already ate and wasn't hungry. Anytime we did go for dinner specifically, I would pick at what little I could stomach, then eat when I get home instead. She told me in confidence that her family always got offended that I wouldn't eat dinner with them. I explained to her that it wasn't because their cooking was bad, I just didn't like the dishes they prepared, and they would never accommodate me by making a meal I liked, so I never entertained their dinners. For instance, we've been out to eat at restaurants together and haven't had issues. It wasn't about not wanting to eat with them, it was the food. I explained our difference in upbringing to my girlfriend, but she said it didn't justify it. I feel differently, but what's done is done. You would think that, just once, they'd make something simple like spaghetti, right? I'd actually eat that if it was the case. But they always cooked these extravagant ethnic meals that was always something I didn't like. If they would have cooked Italian even once, everything would have been fine, but they never did. Call me childish, but I can't eat something unless it's something I actually enjoy the taste of. The foods I dislike literally make me gag and have brought me to the point of throwing it up. So it's not the point of me thinking certain foods are beneath me. I physically can't eat it. I have no clue how people force themselves to eat food they don't like. I've never been able to. Anyways, this is just my way to vent. If you're curious, the types of food I don't eat are basically anything Mexican or Asian. I hate ground beef and rice, all vegetables except corn, and any kind of sauce on chicken except marina. For example, I don't eat chicken Alfredo, but I would eat chicken Parmesan, if that gives you an idea. I also hate ribs, eggs, and cheese by itself. I could write a book about everything I don't eat, but I feel this gets the point across.
I hate being a stepmom. I've been in a relationship for 6 years, and while it hasn't always been easy, it's been worth it, and I'm happy. But recently, I haven't. I made the decision I never wanted to be a mom, and I stuck with it. But I got with my boyfriend knowing he had kids, and when he was finally able to fight for custody on holidays, I was there helping out over the years. That was fine. That was the extent I wanted to go with it, and I was okay. We'd have our pain-in-the-ass holidays with them, and then things would go back to normal. And for the record, I'm pretty good with kids. I have my moments, but I've really stepped into the role for the most part. Also, for the record, I know how bad it sucks to have a step-parent because I had them growing up. I have never forced any of them to call me mom or been an asshole in any way. One of his teenage sons is living with us now. I actually talked my boyfriend into it, knowing how hard it would probably be. He didn't have the best relationship with his mom, and being someone who grew up not getting along with a parent, I empathized with him to get him out of that environment. So he's been here almost a year. I pushed for him to come down here knowing his life would be better and wanting to foster a loving environment for him. I will reiterate here that I never wanted to be a mom, so at times I feel a bit detached, but for the most part, our conversations are really good. We have bonded and had 2-hour-long conversations about his life and his motivations. Our conversations are always fairly pleasant when he comes upstairs. Last month, I went out of my way to buy him a $60 game for his birthday, along with adding a few silly little presents to make his birthday more fun. Yesterday was my birthday. I spent the latter half of it being anxious and thinking over my life. All day, my boyfriend's son was moody. Boyfriend had to force him out of bed. He's so obsessed with R6S that it's all he ever does, and sometimes that means he doesn't sleep. So BF got him up, and I guess he spent the entire day being in a pissy mood. He went to watch YouTube on our TV upstairs, and I heard boyfriend say, "You've had enough of Rainbow Six Siege today. Watch something else." Anyway, I got no conversation. I didn't even so much as get a happy birthday. Yes, he was made aware. Beef even encouraged him to have cake with us in honor of my birthday, and he didn't even eat with us. And I know being a parent is a thankless task sometimes, but now his brother wants to come live with us, and I just can't imagine two spoiled, selfish kids living with us. Yes, they're spoiled. Their mom pretty much let them get away with whatever they want, including skipping school to play video games. Not only am I deeply hurt that his son doesn't even care enough to wish me happy birthday after I made a big deal out of his, and I didn't have to, but I'm terrified that me being fed up with his sons is going to be the detriment of our relationship. I didn't even want to be a mom in the first place, and am making sacrifices to be one, and his shitty kid doesn't even care about me. I'm sick of the moodiness, the screaming Sage streamers on YouTube, the consistent talk of R6S and nothing else, and the pouting for the entire day because he lost that day. I'm sick of his inability to think about anyone or anything else because he's laser focused on that stupid game. TLDR. Never wanted to be a mom, but became a stepmom. Took part in encouraging BF's son to live with us in order to have a better life and feel completely overlooked. Like I don't even matter. Kids are selfish assholes. I mostly just wanted to vent. Fuck it. I'm eating his piece of cake we saved him for my birthday.